Coming in first, my team that I think is going to win the division. It's going to be tight and tough at the top. Three T's there. But I think the Dolphins are going to be the team to beat. With Brandon Marshall there, an offensive line that's very solid with Jake Long, Jake Grove, guy came over from the Raiders, Richie Incognito. I think they're going to have a solid offensive line. I think this year you're going to want to look for a guy named Anthony Fasano as a tight end to benefit greatly from Brandon Marshall being there, and hopefully a healthy Ronnie Brown. Backing up Ronnie Brown, we all know him. Yes, Ricky Williams in a puff of smoke in a cloud with 3 yards and 0.5 carries. Anyway, Ricky Williams is going to be a stud to pick up, and definitely want to handcuff Ronnie Brown with Ricky Williams. Because we know Brown's history of injuries, and we know what Ricky Williams can do, especially as of late. Greg Camillo, Chad Henne is going to be, hopefully, I think he's going to be a silent super stud this year. Chad Henne could be the guy that you want to draft as your second quarterback, which might easily become your first quarterback, and you could probably get him in the later rounds. Brandon Marshall is going to be a stud, obviously, on offense. And I think that's going to make that whole offense move between the Wildcats stretching the field. Going to look dynamic on offense. Defensively, Randy Starks at the nose tackle. Good, solid guy there to stop the run. Channing Crowder. You say, who's Channing Crowder? Channing Crowder is a guy that he's their left inside linebacker. And the guy's a great run stopper, can get to the quarterback, applies a lot of pressure, and came out of nowhere last year. I know a lot of people didn't realize who he was until mid-season, but the guy's an animal. Also, don't forget, they picked up Carlos Dansby from the Cardinals, who is another outstanding player. I think him at the inside linebacker position on the right side, you're going to see Carlos Dansby breaking in and causing a lot of ruckus, breaking up some passes, and they should be pretty solid on both sides of the ball. And yes, Dolphins, I think, are going to go probably, I want to say, 12-4. That's my prediction for the top. They got a pretty good schedule with Buffalo, at Minnesota. Minnesota, I'm telling you now, even though I'm not into that division yet, Brett Favre is going to be back, okay? There's just certain signs and things that I know and people that I know, and it's not who you know, it's who I know. Brett Favre is going to be coming back, and you'll hear that in my NFC North report coming up in another couple days. Anyway, Jets, that's a very winnable game for them. New England, I think, they have Belichick's number, and they've been able to beat them. They've been able to beat them successfully. They got a bye week after that. Then they go off to Green Bay, which could be a loss for them, unfortunately. And then they get Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, 2 winnable games for them. One with Pittsburgh being Ben Roethlisberger's first game back. Heading up in second, I hate to say it, my most hated team in the NFL, the New England Patriots. And yes, they're going to be pretty solid. Wes Walker's back. He looks like he's good. Matt Light on the offensive line. The offensive line should be pretty solid. I mean, they've been in the past. They got some new faces there. Tom Brady is healthy again. He's had a whole year in recovery. He's gotten back on the field. So far, he looks sharp in practice. Randy Moss, even though he's a little long in the tooth, getting up there in age, the guy still has some talent and gas in the tank, and he still poses double teams, which is going to work well for Wes Walker fans. And at tight end, Rob Gronkowski is going to be their starting tight end with a backup of Algie Crumpler. Both of those guys could turn into a good stopgap for any given week when you need a tight end. Because, again, with Wes Walker out there and Randy Moss, you got 2 solid receivers. Somebody's got to get double-teamed. Somebody's going to get open. Some damage is going to get done. On the defensive end, Vince Wilfork's there, Ty Warren, Derek Burgess, another ex-Raider. That guy can get to the quarterback, and he's super solid. Gerard Mayo, Tully Bantakane, and Lee Bowden are all guys that are pretty solid. And don't forget about Brandon Merriweather, a guy at the free safety position, very hard-hitting and solid as well. I hate to say that about the Patriots, but you can't count them out. And they should come in second in this division. However, don't be surprised if you do see the Jets kind of sneaking in there. I'm going to get to them next. But with New England, as far as their schedule, they got Cincinnati, which is a winnable game at home. Jets should be a winnable game on the road. Buffalo, they should win that. I'm going to put a question mark here and mark this down your calendars. Buffalo has had a very good history in beating the Patriots the first time they play every year. They should win this game. It's at home, but I'm going to put a little question mark next to it. Then they get Miami after that. Then there's a bye week. Baltimore, they should be able to win that game. Then they go on the road to San Diego. San Diego's a team right now that I think is lacking identity other than Phillip Rivers. A lot of their superstars and top players are in bad situations with holdouts, injured, and obviously LT is with the Jets. Speaking of the Jets, that's my team that's going to come in third, the New York Jets. Look for them. I'm going to think that they're going to have the hangover. The second-year thing that happened with Matt Ryan is going to happen with Sanchez. I don't think he's going to produce this year like people think he is. Rob Ryan, I know he carries a lot of weight, literally. However, I think defensively they're going to be a little bit at a disadvantage right now. They have holdouts by Darrelle Revis. Cromartie's in there. We know what Cromartie does. He did it in San Diego. He's on and he's off. He's a good player. Maybe he might perform here in a new territory, new scene kind of for him. Sean Ellis, Bart Scott, Eric Smith, another hard-hitting free safety. Kyle Wilson, a line inside, left cornerback. He's a guy that is I'm going to spotlight him as a possible dark horse on that defense. With Darrelle Revis being a possible holdout, he has been playing, he has been stepping in, and I think for some reason, I don't know, he could be the dark horse on that defense. Back on the offense, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Nick Mangold, Damian Woody, Dustin Keller. He's going to be a pretty good tight end this year. I think he's going to get a lot of outlet passes from Sanchez. If Braylon Edwards, the real Braylon Edwards, shows up this year, they'll have a field stretcher between him and Santonio Holmes. Sean Green could be the man there. He should be the man there. LT's there. I don't see him as anything but like a cheerleader in the locker room. I know a lot of people think differently, change of environment, change of scenery. But from what I've seen in LT the last couple of years, I just don't see anything good happening. He's going to be a guy that probably gets some outlet passes, maybe a third down back, maybe some goal line carries. I'm not really sure. Don't count on him as a top draft pick, obviously, either, because Sean Green will be the man there. Jericho Cotchery will be the third receiver behind Santonio Holmes. And don't forget, Cotchery had some serious yardage and a lot of catches and touchdowns a couple years back. I'll look for him to possibly shine again. They got a game against Baltimore opening up. They should win that game. New England, I think, will be a loss. Miami, I think, at Miami is going to be a loss. Buffalo, they should win. Minnesota, the next week, they should win. Again, Brett Favre up in the air. Denver, they got after that. Should be a really good win for them because I think Denver is just in disarray right now. Then they have a bye week. That's the first couple weeks. Moving to the doormat, and I mean this most literal situation, Buffalo. What a team in disarray. No identity anywhere on that team except for maybe Lee Evans. Fred Jackson, who filled in great for Marshawn Lynch when he was sucking wind, and now Marshawn Lynch has actually been relegated, I think, to a fullback, to where he's probably going to want to look for a trade and look for him to get possibly traded out of the division to a team maybe like Chicago. Okay. Anyway, enough of them. CJ Spiller is another guy that's coming in at running back, backing up Fred Jackson, who's a rookie, a little light. I don't think he's going to be able to handle a full NFL schedule. Could be a surprise, though, when coming up towards the end of the year. Offensively, with Trent Edwards at the helm, James Hardy, another receiver, maybe not a household name, but a pretty solid guy as a possession receiver. Should do well for them. Defensively, I think they're going to be pretty solid. Kyle Williams, Marcus Stroud, Andre Davis. Terrence McGee, another solid linebacker around Schobel. Paul Posluszny. I know I screwed that one up. What the hell? Jarius Byrd, a free safety. And Dante Whitner. Solid defense. And look for them to hopefully keep the offense on the field. Anyway, that is my report for the AFC East. Until the next time when we bet into the NFC North and we talk about Brett Favre. Until then, you take it easy.